right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring a children's story called Spooky Adventures in Pumpkin Hollow. But honestly, I think there's a lot here for adults too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, to set the scene, we've got our main character, Rudy.
Okay.
And she's got this, really noticeable red hat.
Yeah, and that's interesting, right?
Yeah, it's more than just an accessory. What do you think? Is it, symbolic?
I think it probably is. You know how in stories, details like that, they're usually not just random?
Yeah.
The red hat could mean so many things, like passion.
Right.
Or bravery, or just being, different.
That makes sense. And she lives in this place called Pumpkin Hollow.
Pumpkin Hollow.
Which, it's not your typical pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
It's magical.
Purple pumpkin.
Yeah, and the pumpkins all have these different powers.
Oh, wow.
Some glow, some can talk, some even make music.
I love that. That's so creative.
I know, right? And of course, you can't have magic without,
Guardians, protector.
Exactly. So, we've got these three. Mr. Scarecrow, Wizard Will, and Little Witch Hazel.
Those names. I love it.
Yeah, they're the ones protecting the magic and, Pumpkin Hollow.
That's so interesting because it's those classic
Fairy tale
archetypes, right?
Yeah.
The wise old wizard, the scarecrow.
Right.
So it makes you think about why those characters show up, in so many stories from all different places.
Why do those resonate with us?
Exactly. It's even in our own lives. Think about
Right.
the mentors you've had.
Right.
Did they remind you of any of these characters in some way?
That's a good question. And of course, like any good story,
Gotta have a villain.
of course.
Yeah.
So we've got Malachi, who's this evil sorcerer
Yes.
who wants to steal all the pumpkins' magic.
Okay, so that's interesting because the whole good versus evil thing, it's everywhere, right? But it also makes you think, what does that really represent?
About Malachi.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he's greedy, right?
Yeah.
He wants all the magic for himself.
Right.
But could it be, something deeper than that? Maybe
I'm
he's...
afraid.
Yeah. Maybe he's afraid of, joy and stuff.
So he's trying to, destroy it.
Yeah. Maybe that's how he tries to control it.
Interesting.
Just he's trying to take away the thing that makes Pumpkin Hollow special.
Yeah, extinguish the light or something.
Yeah.
And because of Malachi, Ruby and her friends,
Okay.
they end up facing all these challenges.
What kind of challenge?
Well, there are riddles they have to solve. There's this magical maze.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
And they basically have to outsmart Malachi if they want to save the magic.
Sounds intense for a children's story.
I know, right? But as I was listening, they do such a good job of describing.
Pumpkin Hollow.
Yeah, it's you can just picture it, the leaves, the smell of autumn.
I can almost smell it now.
Right. It makes you feel like you're really there.
So immersive.
But with Malachi, it's not just fun and games anymore.
Right.
There's a real sense of danger.
It's the stakes are higher now.
Yeah, exactly. They're not just kid challenges anymore. They're real obstacles.
And those obstacles, they need teamwork to get past them. Right?
Yeah. They need to work together and problem solve.
Which is honestly such a good lesson for all of us, right?
Sure. We rarely solve things completely on our own.
Yeah, we need other people and their different strengths and perspectives.
It makes you wonder what Ruby and her friends' strengths are,
Yeah. We know Ruby's brave and clever, and like we said, that red hat might mean she's got this inner strength.
Yeah. But what about her friends? What do they bring to the table? Guess we'll have to keep listening to find out.
Exactly. It's funny how that hat,
Ruby's red hat.
Yeah, it becomes more than just a hat.
What do you mean?
As the story goes on, it starts to be about the whole community's strength.
It represents everybody.
Exactly. And their hope.
Yeah, it's taking on all that good energy and using it against Malachi.
Yeah, it's fighting that darkness.
It's pretty powerful when you think about it.
It really is. And it's even just a small thing can have so much meaning.
Especially when it's connected to something bigger.
Yeah, shared values or a purpose.
That makes sense. And it makes me think, what about us? What are those things in our lives?
What are our symbols?
Yeah. The things we wear, the things we believe in.
Right. The things that make us feel connected.
Exactly. So how about this?
Okay.
How do they actually defeat Malachi?
Yeah, so it's not this big magic battle or anything. It's more about Ruby just never giving up hope.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and believing in her friends.
So friendship is her weapon.
In a way, yeah. And that belief in friendship, it
Yeah.
like weakens Malachi's power.
Wow. And it's also like
Yeah.
all of them working together,
Yeah.
like their teamwork.
Totally. It's like unity and resilience. That's what makes them strong.
There's something really nice about that. You know, like
Yeah.
no matter how tough things get, if you stick together
Yeah, yeah.
and don't lose hope, you can beat anything.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like, it really does take a village, like
Right.
they say.
Like, think about those times in your life
Mhm.
when you really needed help. Who did you turn to?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so Malachi's gone. Pumpkin Hollow's safe.
Right.
Everybody's happy. Like,
Classic ending.
yeah. But the story doesn't end there, does it?
It doesn't know. It actually,
Right.
it really focuses on that hat.
Ruby's hat.
Yeah. It becomes like this lasting reminder of what they all went through.
Like a symbol of the whole experience.
Exactly. Of their strength, of how they survived because they had each other.
Wow. So it's not just a happy ending.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a new beginning
A new beginning with like a shared symbol to remind them.
of what they learned.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know, it's wild. Like, it's a kid's story,
Right.
but it's got so much like,
Depth.
yeah. Like, maybe we don't give kids' books enough credit.
Totally. Sometimes those simple stories,
Yeah.
they have these big truths hidden in them.
Like, we overthink things as adults.
Exactly. And kids' books, they just like go straight to your heart.
I love that. Like, be more like a kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're wrapping up Spooky Adventures.
hmm
What sticks out to you most?
It's got to be that hat, I think.
Ruby's hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like so many things at once.
Like how it changes?
Yeah, at first it's just her being her, you know?
Uh-huh.
But then it's about her bravery.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it's like everybody's strength.
It shows how, like, what happens to us becomes part of who we are.
Exactly.
And there's that message at the end, too, right? It's not just...
happily ever after. Yeah. It's like, even though the danger's gone,
Mhm.
they still remember,
what they learned, yeah.
like, friendship and all that.
Exactly. Those things still matter.
So it's not just about beating the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like what you do after.
It's how you keep those good things going.
It's almost like it's asking us, you know, the listeners, to think about our own red hats.
Oh, I
Like,
love
what represents our strength? What are we connected to?
What makes us feel like part of something bigger?
Exactly. And speaking of Pumpkin Hollow, you know,
You can actually get the book
yeah, it's a real book.
with pictures and everything.
Perfect for, like, the spooky season.
And you can find it at...
www.theorangesolution.com/shop.
That's right. And they've got, like, other gifts, too.
So you can have your own little,
Pumpkin Hollow.
yeah. So there we go. A deep dive into spooky adventures in Pumpkin Hollow. We learned about bravery, friendship, and never giving up.
And remembering what matters most, even when the scary stuff is gone.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find your own red hat out there.